Ross saying things are fantastic.
Things are happening.
Things are happening.
Okay.
Machines are going bing all over the place.
Mhm. Okay, there's that. So I'll close that.
All right.
And
We're ready to rock and roll. It's our favorite day of the week. It's Tuesday morning. We're here for Plugged In. Hope you guys are having a great start to your week and you had an awesome Monday. We're going to talk about an incredible topic that comes up on a regular, consistent, moment-by-moment basis today. And we've touched on some of these things in other areas that we've talked about before, but we're going to get really specific into the power of your emotion today. And having that emotional fitness, that idea that doesn't matter what happens, I'm ready. Doesn't matter what the circumstances are, I'm on target. Doesn't matter what's going on out there, I got control of what's going on in here and what's happening in here. So before we do that though, as we always do, we like to start with a little breathing exercise to grab our attention, grab our focus, and center ourselves so we're in a learning state and we're thinking about what it is we want to have happen, what it is that we want to create in life, our best thought for this day, this week, this month, this year, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your personal life, whatever it is you need in your health. So I think you're up on this one.
okay. All right. Let's do a little breathing.
I do the seal breathing. She breathes in love and breathes out peace. Same breathing though.
That's right. Okay, you guys, take a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and across the top. 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. Breathing in love. 2, 3, 4. Breathing out peace. 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. Really pull it into your heart, you guys. And out. 2, 3, 4. The world needs love, right?
Absolutely.
The world needs love. We're going to talk about that today, actually.
We are going to talk about that
a little bit.
So to kind of kick it off here, when you start talking about your emotions, literally everyone right now is sitting in a different state of emotion. And I think you can actually kind of go black and white with it. You can think about it from the beginning stages. Are my emotions positive, serving me? Are they negative, hindering me? And what could I, what should I, what are the possibilities that I can do anything about it? That. So, we all have heard the idea of, a child is a child because it hasn't really mastered to the state of handling its emotions. And as it grows up, it is able to discipline disappointments, able to handle emotions a little bit better, and then it turns into an adult. But as an adult, a lot of times we kind of get stuck with the same emotional fitness that we've had for a long time because we stop really working on it. And we just kind of fall into a rut. And we do this with all sorts of things in our life. But if you want your life to get better, and you want your world to get better, if you want to have more happiness, really it comes back down to, are you at the whim of the things that are changing your emotion? Is the world just giving you what you have in your emotions, or are you in control of those emotions? So if you can't control your emotion, you can't control your outcomes, right? You can't control what it is that you're going to get from interacting in life, from interacting with people, from interacting with your spouse, your kids, whoever it is. And if you actually do start to get that emotional fitness going up a little bit higher, and it's not keeping it the same that gives you these things, it's making it a little bit better that gives you these things. It gives you inner strength. It helps you identify those feelings and those things, and we're going to talk about that. It has a great place of gratitude for your emotion, because your emotion can actually be your guidepost for what it is you want. It helps you refine what you don't want and what you do want. So we want these emotions, we want this excitement, we want this enthusiasm, and we want the fear, and we want the problems, and we want all of those things, because they help guide us into what it is that we want. But we have to actually be a little bit grateful for them, instead of just, I don't want that, I do want that. I remember when Michaela was young, one of her first sentences was, I don't want that. We still use that all the time. I don't want that. I don't want that. Right. And that actually helped her refine what she did want, and it helps you right the boat, so to say, because you have some capacity now to say, hey, I'm going down a road that doesn't make me feel good. What will make me feel good? And it helps you come up with a plan, right? Come up with, what is it that I want? What is it that I want to create from some of those negative things? And a lot of times it's the negative things that are the strongest emotions that pop us out of where we are. And we want to actually pay attention to those things. We want to use them as guideposts and pieces of information. I talked to Jennifer. Jennifer makes, she laughs at me when I'm in the shower and I'm building myself up for a golf game and I'm getting going, and I'm like, what about this or what about that? And I'll actually have a whole conversation about what's going on. And when I'm on the golf course and a lot of places in life, and I have a really bad situation happen to me, which happens a lot in golf, right? You go into the side of a bunker and it's completely plugged. You can barely see the ball. And most people look at that and go, oh, I can never get out of that. And I go, ooh, little opportunity for personal growth. Roll camera 1, roll camera 2. This is going on Sports Center tonight when I knock this one on the green. Heck, maybe I'll just put it in the hole, right? And that's my thinking. It gets me going as an opportunity for personal growth versus, oh, woe is me, I'm going to lose this hole. So anyway, that's just kind of one of my little things that I use whenever there's a negative possibility that I'm facing. I have a conditioned response to that negative possibility that it's an opportunity for personal growth.
And he really does, more so than probably anybody that I know.
But that's a conditioned response. I want you to know, you don't just pop out and every once in a while do that and have it happen all the time. It's a conditioned response.
Right. Yeah. Well said. Okay. So on our mastermind group Monday, some of you in this group were on that, and we just had a little blip. Somebody brought up something about gratitude, and I had mentioned how important gratitude is, because for one thing, it's a very similar emotion. It gets you very close to the top emotion of love and joy. Okay. And I was saying that gratitude is an easy doorway in to those emotions, which is, we really want to be on the top of that scale. And it's really difficult if you're in a not great place with your ball buried in the side of a bunker.
Yeah.
Of course, I can't hit the ball hard enough to ever do that. So mine would bounce off that and go back into where it belonged. But I just forgot what I was going to say.
It's okay, but let me actually I'm glad you have an opening there, because I want to say something too. I have another conditioned response, and you've heard us say a lot over all these plugged ins. It kind of comes up as a consistent theme. And that consistent theme is find a way to be grateful. Find a way to be grateful. So why do we always say that? Why do we always talk about that? Well, that actually plays completely into what we're talking about in that emotional fitness. So when you're thinking about something and you're worrying about it, or you're stewing on it, and you had something bad happen and it just keeps coming up for you. It just keeps working on you. My immediate conditioned response is to look at what I'm grateful for, to think about what I'm grateful for. And my conditioned response is my wife, Jennifer. It's the easy one. I go there right away. I'm so grateful for the angel that I get to live with all the time. And I can go into super gratitude right now, shut the camera off. And I can just get all happy, because my conditioned response to go to gratitude gets me into what I'm most grateful for. And then whatever else it is that I'm worried about or thinking about, it kind of starts to fade and disappear. And it gives me the space to start coming up with a plan and thinking a little more clearly versus stewing and mulling on the negative parts of what took place.
And that's where it was going. It's like we can all come up with something that we could be grateful for. So it takes you in a step in the right direction, right? So let's talk about emotions. Your emotions are indicators, okay? And as you mentioned, it lets you know where you are with what you want, with what you don't want. All right. So when you realize, for instance, that you do not have enough of something, maybe it's money, maybe it's time, maybe it's clarity, maybe it's fun. Your desire evolves from that, right? And that is a good thing. When you know what you are lacking, you know more clearly what it is that you desire. So if you're sick, it's going to really amp up your desire for wellness, right? Sean just this morning was told he got to get off his crutches and out of his boot. By the way, his doctor was blown away at his healing time, said he healed like the Wolverine.
Heal like the Wolverine, man.
Wolverine, as fast as a Wolverine. But anyway, I mean, he's been on crutches and in a boot for how many weeks?
6 weeks.
6 weeks, so his desire to heal that
Very high
is
desire.
very strong. So yay for that. But anyway, just think about that. It's like when there's lack, then that's where your desire comes from. If you want your body to look different or feel different, you expand your desire to do something about it.
Right.
Like maybe the desire is big enough that you're going to do a shred, or you're going to have the fortitude and the discipline to really do something about it. Maybe you watch somebody get a promotion and the desire for recognition or appreciation gets amped up. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Or maybe you don't have a partner and you'd like to have a partner, your desire for that happens. Or maybe that you're in a current relationship that is not cohesive, is not harmonious, and you have a desire for a more compatible relationship. So what happens is that desire is what can cause change, right? And as your desire evolves, you evolve, all right? Life causes us to expand, right? That's why we grow, as people. That's why, the person you are today is probably very different than the person you were 10 years ago. And when you put your attention towards that desire and that expansion, it can be very exhilarating. And when you don't, and you'll feel resistance, right?
Disempowered,
you'll feel discomfort, and that can show up in all kinds of ways in your life, right? So just think of your emotions as being an indicator. If you're on track in your life and who you think you should be, like at your core, that soul part of you, and if you're doing what you came to do, and if you're in alignment with what you want. And we've talked many times in here. It's one of the things that I love about Juice Plus. It's like, we have such freedom, you guys, inside of this framework, right? We do, because this business can mean so many different things to so many different people. All the people that are on here, you guys are all doing this business in different ways. Some of you love helping people with their health, and that's what gets you out of bed in the morning. Awesome. Others love to empower people into becoming more, growing a team. Maybe it's your own personal growth, your mastery of a skill. I mean, you think about what we do in this business. We hire, train, motivate a volunteer army for good. That's what we're out there doing, you guys. That's a big deal. And you can do that in different ways. Maybe you want to get better at speaking or putting on events or social media and branding. We've been talking about that. And that idea lets you actually explore, maybe another aspect. Maybe you have a passion for a certain thing, or you're an expert in a certain area where you get to bring that brand and Juice Plus together and do it all. What a win-win, right? So there's a zillion ways you can do that. You have the freedom to do that here. Juice Plus gives you that framework and all of these resources at your disposal to be more of who you came here to be, more of who you are at your core. And every time, you guys, that you are dreaming and you are chewing on an idea, you're planning, you're executing something, right? it's something that's taking you closer to who you want to be and what you want to accomplish, it's magical and it's amazing and you feel good. You probably have really good emotion when you're doing that, right? And that we want to be in that lane in our life. We want to be drawn towards that good, drawn towards that mission. And you guys, if you missed the episode that we did on Plugged In about your creating your mission statement, I really recommend that you go back and watch that one. You know, get clarity. Now, are you on track with that? And if you are, it'll feel good. If you're just even moving in that direction, you might feel relief, right? Or a calm knowing that you're moving in the right direction. That's about being in full alignment, and it's good for you. It's good for your health. It's good for your well-being on all levels.
Absolutely. You know, when you think about this, remember, I want to go back to that first idea. This is emotional fitness, right? It's fitness. I've got to build up some muscles that I don't currently have. Now, that's not always uncomfortable, or that's not always comfortable. I'm sorry. It takes some attention. It takes some focus, and but it's not hard to do. It's just easy not to do it. You know, like it's kind of like our business. It's not that hard to do it, but it's easy not to do it, right? And the same thing with this emotional fitness idea is you've got to get yourself into a mode that you're resilient, that nobody can stop you. Nothing can stop you. Nothing can get in your way. You're going to do this. Why are you going to do this? Because it makes a difference and it gets you excited. You get that kind of emotion inside of you and you're unstoppable. You're completely unstoppable until something happens, until somebody says no, until the next 5 people say no. And then all of a sudden, you don't have that same feeling unless you built the muscles to say, you know what? I'm not letting the world stop me. I'm not letting other people's emotions stop me. I'm not letting other people's fears stop me. I'm not letting other people's projections on me stop me. You've heard the story of people who tried to discourage me when I first got involved in the business. My family and my closest friends were saying, Sean, you're crazy. What are you doing? You're throwing your life away. We thought you were so smart and going to be so successful. And now you're going to go out and sell these plastic water filters with this company that's a scam. Oh my gosh, you're throwing your life away. Those are the people that cared about me the most. But those people were projecting on me their fears, their box, their limited thinking, their ideas. And if I'd taken those things, I would have lived inside of the construct that they believe life should be lived in, and certainly not the construct that we've lived our life, which is a construct that sent us to 80 countries all over the world. We've had the opportunity to do so many things, and we are so inspired about what this business gives everybody in terms of their health, but also in terms of the personal growth and the wealth that people get by building these emotional muscles, because you don't get successful in our business if you just go by the wind. And I want to get to this really specifically. I want to give you an example of this, because when you think about, you know, our business, it's like we're going out to the world and we're sharing a product, best product on the planet. I mean, are you kidding me? Fruits and vegetables in a capsule, more research behind it. We know this is awesome. And we know that everybody that gets on this product, whether they know it or not, it's helping them. Whether they know it or not, we've got the research to back that up, right? And so those 41 peer-reviewed medical studies come with me and my emotion every time I talk about this. I know they might not get it. I might not perfectly have the words. I might not be in the right situation. They might not be ready to hear. But that doesn't change who I am. It doesn't change how I feel about what I have. Same thing with our opportunity. I'll put our opportunity up with anybody's opportunity in terms of flexibility, of freedom, of an unlimited cap on how much you make, have the opportunity to build wealth so that you actually get paid today more than you get paid tomorrow, more than you get paid today, because you get paid on what you do today, tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. You can build up that residual income. I'll put our opportunity with anybody, but not everybody, an impact, but not everybody sees that. Not everybody gets it. Not everybody has that same feeling when I talk about our opportunity, but that doesn't matter. That's how I feel. That's how I know of what I'm doing and how exciting it is. And that gets you, when you have that kind of emotional sincerity, that kind of feeling inside of you, those are muscles. Those are muscles. The rest of the world, when they cut you off and somebody flips you off and somebody doesn't come in, what if the next 5 distributors you come in all quit? Does that mean, oh, the product's no good? Oh, people don't like it. Everybody's lazy. And oh my gosh, there's nobody's interested in all that. No, there's another way to look at that. Those 5 people were the wrong people. I got to up my numbers. Right? I just found 5 bad ones. That means the next 5 could be awesome, or the next 2 could be amazing, right? I got to get my numbers up, right? That's a different way to react to that same exact situation. Maybe I need to change my presentation. Maybe I'm not making this simple enough. They think it's too hard. I need to simplify it down and make it more fun. Maybe that's me that I need to focus on. It's not their problem, it's me. I got some things I can change, some things I can get better at. Or maybe it's just a matter of the fact that I didn't show them enough. Maybe I didn't get them exposed to anything else. Maybe I just gave them a brochure and a little bit, and they never got into a meeting or a conference call or a live conference or something like that. Maybe I just got to get better at that. But there's 2 different ways to look at the same exact thing that's happening. Is it happening to me or for me? And that idea inside of your emotions, that's fitness, right? That's fitness. It's not all about the idea that everything's going to be perfect out there for you. It's about the idea that you have the ability to react to it however you want. Let me give you one more thing. When I talk to people and they say, how you doing? And I learned this a long, long time ago. And I used to have a whole big training on this. And I actually started writing down all the things that people say when I say, how you doing? And they say, whatever they say. And I always say, when they say, how you doing? I go, fantastic, awesome, amazing, incredible. That's what I create when somebody asks me how I'm doing. And when I started writing down what they had, it was, how you doing? Well, hanging in there. How you doing? Oh, getting by. How you doing? Oh, no, still upright. Oh, not 6 feet under, and it was like, I couldn't believe the self-talk that people had on a regular basis, just from the one thing that we do all the time is how you doing? And I started actually thinking, wow, that's a mental crutch for me to be positive. And I just did it yesterday. When I was in the physical therapist's office, I got my crutches and she comes over and I get up and I'm getting ready to go. And she goes, how you doing? I go, awesome. And she just looks at me and she goes, why are you so awesome? Because obviously people going into physical therapy aren't usually thinking that they're awesome. I go, awesome. I said, because I choose to be. I said, I can't control everything that's going on out here in the world, but I have got 100% control of what's going on in here. I choose awesome. And she looked at me, she goes, I love that, right? I get that. So that's your choice, and that's emotional fitness.
I love that. Okay, so let's go another step further, because I think this is so important. I've had this for so long. Okay, we have a variety of feelings that move through us, right? Depending on what is happening, what you're observing, what you're thinking. And over time and generations of people, we've come to an agreement really on what a feeling is and the word that we would use to describe it. Like we all kind of agree on, certain things. So I want to show you this scale. And I referred to this on Monday, and here it is visually. Let's see, where's my show screen? I don't know if you've ever seen this before. This is an emotional scale. And I have thought about this so many times in my life. The first time I saw this was probably 15 years ago, at least, maybe more. But you can see down at the bottom, fear, grief, depression, despair, powerlessness, all very similar in there. Then you're going up to insecurity, guilt, unworthiness. A lot of people get stuck in that zone, you guys. And again, probably from things from your childhood. Then you've got jealousy, hatred or rage, revenge, anger. And what I want you to think about here is, for instance, if somebody is in a state of depression, Anger is a step up from that,
Hmm.
right?
Mhm.
I mean, it's better for them to actually get that emotion out rather than just being, stuck internally. You would want somebody to actually move through up the scale into anger is a better place for them to be. Then discouragement, blame, worry, doubt, disappointment, overwhelm, frustration or impatience, pessimism, boredom, contentment. Now we're getting up there in the good zone here. Hopefulness, optimism, positive expectations and belief, enthusiasm, eagerness, happiness, passion. And then at that top level, joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, appreciation. That's that gratitude piece, right? So, I mean, that's kind of an ultimate, some of you guys know that the last thing that my mom said to us was, if ever there's a problem, love more. That was her
Mhm.
her last words is love more. My daughter got me a bracelet that says love more on it. And when we can get in that state, I mean, just the frequency of that is amazing. So here's the thing though, it's tough to go from some of these down at the bottom right into that space at the top. And so the trick, I believe, is reach for, you guys have heard me say this so many times. What's a better thought? What can you reach for? A better thought, better words, a better emotion, just one step up. So if you look at where you're at in a situation, okay, and if you can first identify what it is, right, without judgment, just identify it and go, wow,
What's my emotion?
I'm blaming. Yeah, that doesn't feel very
Or
good,
I'm worried.
right?
Or I'm
Or,
angry.
wherever I am. And then look at the ones right above that and go, can I move up the scale and get to something better? I might not be able to get to joy and love right now, but can I get to something better?
But what I can always do is I can jump to the top of the list with,
Gratitude.
that's mine. That's the one
That's
I can
the
always
shortcut,
find.
right?
That's the hack.
The hack.
It's the hack. I can
I know.
always think about how grateful I am for my wife, for my life, for our family, for our situation. I can always grab a hold of something I'm grateful for. And then I can get out of these situations. And they really do. Once again, it's emotional fitness. If you start doing it, and what it'll do, it'll stop your loop. Because each one of these things can be a
Mhm.
loop. It's like I talked about when those distributors didn't do what they said they were going to do or what they were supposed to do or what you thought they were going to do. So you didn't get the promotion that you got. All of a sudden now you've got a loop going on that may not be feeding the positiveness that you need to go out and get some more, to get some other people, to get some new customers, to get some new distributors, to actually do the numbers game, right? And you may be talking about something completely different in your head than you're actually focused on in your life. And what will happen is if you can reach for gratitude,
Mhm.
it can actually pop you out of what's spinning in your head and get you out in a much higher emotion, as this chart shows. It doesn't have gratitude on here, but it's
Well,
right up there
right
at the
there,
top.
appreciation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just know though, usually like subtle moves can make all the difference, you guys, and it can change everything. And so think of verbiage that would help you through that. And I jotted some things down. So instead of like beating the same old drum and getting in the same loop and the same patterns and all that, verbiage, I wish I could find a way that, acknowledging that I have choice. I'd like to make the choice of this instead of that this time. I like being in charge of my actions. So whatever the circumstances, so let's say, your kids are fighting, right? Gee, that's never happened before. So instead of saying things like they're driving me crazy, I can't find a way to stop them, I don't know what to do, judging all that, try instead something like, well, okay, that's normal. It's part of their learning. I'm sure they don't like feeling badly either any more than I like it. I'm not going to add my negativity to the situation. Gosh, this is going to be interesting to see how they handle this, how they come out of this. wow, they really are great kids. You know, we're a great family. I like to know that I have power to control my feelings around this. Do you see how that starts feeling better? You start getting more empowered. You know, they get to have the choice in how they're operating and feeling. I love knowing that I get to choose how I'm feeling, right? And we're going to try and work through this as a parent. I'm going to try and help the situation, but I'm not going to dive into that yucky, disempowered, they're driving me crazy place, right? That doesn't help anybody.
I'll give you one example that's happening in our society today. There's a lot of talk about racism. There's a lot of talk about these fundamental problems that are in our society. One thing that I know you cannot do is fight racism with racism. You can't fight division with more division. You can't fight angst with more angst. You've got to reach for a higher emotion. You've got to reach for connection, love, gratitude if you're going to ever fix any of these issues. So when you're in a situation where you feel like, God, I'm disempowered, I can't make a difference, just finding a higher level of emotion to come to that same situation with will start to transform your angst of not feeling like you can make a difference, not feeling like you can move forward. You can if you have a higher emotion than the one that is actually stopping you. So every single time you feel stopped, a higher emotion will get you moving again.
That's right. So,
well, we appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate everything you do out there. You truly do make a difference on a daily basis in so many people's lives, and the world needs more of you today.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for coming in.
All right.
Thank you, Sean and Jennifer. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was awesome.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.